Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Footmarks. I'm Varun and I'm joined by Jarrod. Today's episode of Footmarks is on white ball trades. If you've watched our red ball trades, Footmarks, it's basically a very similar concept, except just with white ball cricket. Very original. I mean white ball. When I say white ball cricket, I mean like essentially limited overs formats. It's easier to just
I only
for
looked
us
at
to say
one
white
day
ball in
as
the
really
title.
because I figured you would cover modern T20 stuff. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I have a very few obvious examples for modern day T20. Also, I just want to give a disclaimer. This is all make believe. No one is actually trading your favorite
No,
players.
we are. We
I
are
know people
literally
have
going back in time and trading your favorite player.
yeah, a bit like wanting MS Dhoni to strike at 150 versus spin. A man can dream. So that's essentially what we've come down to. If you're wondering why that is, I've been stuck in this weird loop of MS Dhoni versus spin, which you'll find out about at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jared, I just want us to start off with an easy trade so people can get used to it, right?
Okay.
So I have in the modern era, obviously the premier white ball team is obviously India. Oh, sorry, I should have said we're assuming for this exercise Test cricket doesn't exist. Otherwise, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah. It has to be completely
complicated
white
for
ball only trade.
Also, like I should ask, do you know for modern white ball trades, does your eligibility criteria for leagues change? So if an Indian gets traded to another team, does that mean they count as an overseas player?
Let's say no for now.
Or vice versa?
Because it's not your fault you've been traded out
Okay.
of your country, is it?
That's fair. So obviously India is the most premier white ball team, right? And the batting pipeline and even the spin bowling pipeline is very good. But I'm a bit iffy on the paces, right?
Mhm.
So what India could essentially do is, if they want to, they could trade all the backup batters for any pacer they want from any of the team that doesn't have batting. So I have a few trades based on that, right?
Yep.
So one of the first trades which I have is a bit like I don't know how you feel about it. I have Sai Sudarshan,
Mhm.
Ashutosh, and Rahul Chahar for Blessing Muzrabani.
Who's the third player?
Rahul Chahar, because I don't want to watch Graham Kramer bowl spin ever again. I'll throw him in for free at this point.
Okay, and that is for...
Not even part of the
And who are
trade.
you trading for?
I want Blessing Muzrabani as an Indian fan. Maybe we can also throw in one more batter if you want.
Well, I mean, the issue
I'll throw
here
Jitesh
is
Sharma.
if you're Zimbabwe, how much better does this make your side? I think if I'm Zimbabwe,
So that gives them
I'm
batting.
going to ask for an extra player.
Yeah, so
because this is the best Zimbabwean player since Andy Flower, right?
Easily. No, Sikandar Raza. I'd take Raza ahead of Blessing in T20s, Jarrod.
Yeah, but over a whole career, Sikandar also had quite a few years where
Blessing still is going to play.
Yeah,
that's true. Blessing also has a few years to play. That's fair. Are you asking for more batting? As in, like, do you want like a Devdutt Padikkal to strengthen your ODI team even more? Or do you want more T20 batting? There's a lot of options here.
Can I get...
Right? Sai kind of covers both formats.
I wouldn't...
And Ash just gives you finishing.
I wouldn't mind getting a fast bowler back as well. But I'm trying to think of, like...
Yeah, but if I'm India, I don't want to strengthen my fast bowling. Why would I give up a fast bowler in this?
Because you're getting someone instantly that goes into your 11 here, aren't you?
Or at least fringe 11, right?
Yeah.
At least it would be in and around, right? Yeah.
Right. So definitely. Can you not just find a I'm trying to think Akash Deep type cricketer, or I'm not thinking of Akash Deep. I'm thinking of the other guy who played for Gujarat and played for India.
They played for Mohit Sharma.
No, a bit more modern than that.
Prasad? Like Prasad's too good, I think, for that, right?
Indian seam bowlers in the IPL list. I'm just looking for the list. I can't think of the names I'm looking for.
Sandeep Sharma?
Sandeep. Okay, so Sandeep is the kind of bowler I think I'm thinking of. Okay. I am specifically thinking of someone whose name I can't find at the moment, who did play for India. But there's a couple of guys. So yeah, Sandeep Deshpande. Is he another?
I was thinking of Deshpande. Yeah.
Harshal Patel's probably a little bit old.
But India rate Avesh Khan anymore.
I
don't have India rate how high India rate Avesh Khan anymore. So
Avesh Khan, that's who I was thinking of. Right? So
did he play for Gujarat?
Maybe he didn't. I don't know.
I'm gonna remember.
That was who I was thinking of anyway. I think if you could throw in that kind of bowler, and now India might say no to this, But if you're India, you instantly have one of the world's best new ball bowlers. And so on any surface that is really, really spicy, you have Blessing and Arshdeep at either end with Jasper at first change, right? And you have Siraj as the wild man who you can bring in and ahead of Arshdeep or of Blessing if you need to.
Yeah, because and it's for India. You're also not really trading frontline players here, right? Like how far away, like how down in this depth chart is Sai Sudarshan for your openers in T20 cricket?
I know. So I mean,
Right.
it just depends. And then if you get rid of Sandeep, Deshpande, Avesh, who else did I say? Akash Deep, right? You're not losing someone who's going to play a huge amount of games in your estimation right at the moment. The issue is then that Zimbabwe are still getting a ton. But this is sort of like the sort of trades you see in the NBA when like OKC have like 40 first round draft picks and they'll just like give 4 away because it doesn't matter for one player, right? Like it doesn't matter. They've got so many more. They've got talent on the field and they've got draft capital to come. That's the way I see this. And the only thing I might be thinking is there a better way of doing this and actually splitting this up a little bit and trying to find another bowler as well, right? So if I'm India,
from Zimbabwe or from anyone. Someone else?
So I might be going, I've got 6 players. You know, we've mentioned a few of them. You chuck another couple of batters in there as well. I'm trying.
I was actually good.
Is there a young version of Tripathi?
Young version of Tripathi. Prabhsimran Singh.
Yep. Deepak Huda.
Priyan Sharia.
Yeah.
So how far down do you want to go? Yeah.
Right. So
right.
Can you package
Shashank
up?
Singh?
Can you package up? Let's say 6 to 8 of those guys and get Blessing and what? Kotsia.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think of someone else.
I was thinking Sri Lanka or Pakistan are very good size to trade with for India, right? Political issues aside, of course.
Riley Meredith.
Disclaimer. Riley Meredith, yeah. So the other thing I was thinking was, what would Sri Lanka want for India's batting to give up one of Patrana, Tushara, who keep getting injured anyway? If you're India, are you not thinking, okay, we don't need them immediately, but if we can get a fit Tushara or a fit Patrana, how we get even better as a team, right? And you would be willing to give up any batting that you might not need for that.
Would India give up? They probably wouldn't give up Nitesh.
Nitish Kumar Reddy?
Yeah.
They haven't used him in white ball cricket, but I don't think they would give him up now.
Either.
But so I was thinking, like, maybe you give them like a Ruturaj Gaikwad, you could give them one more frontline batsman, because this is ODIs and T20s, right?
If I'm Sri Lanka, do I not just want power hitters though?
Yeah, anything. So name your price, Jarrod. So Gaikwad, you're Sri Lanka. What do you want from me?
So Gaikwad doesn't make sense then, does he?
He does, doesn't he? Because he also upgrades the ODI team, remember?
Yeah.
He's a considerably better ODI batter than almost everyone in that team.
Yeah, I just think they have a lot of Gaikwad-like players, though. Like Ashutosh is an interesting one for Sri Lanka, right? Sri Lanka don't have a lot of Ashutoshes. I'm trying to think of like who the like.
Would they want Rajat Patidar? Because I don't know if he's in India's plans a lot.
I bite your hand off for Rajat Patidar if I'm Sri Lanka.
Yes.
And then so that's 2. And then the third one I want is, can I get someone who is maybe, I'm trying to think if there's any all round. There probably isn't. India's probably not going to give up Riyan Parag, are they? They're so young that he could still have such upside. It would be too risky. Yeah, there must be another sort of. Oh, what about the opener, the Chubbs? Chubbs from the guy who played for India and now is never going to play again, despite the fact he's still one of the best 4 hitters in world cricket. The opener, chubby opener.
Oh, well,
the young opener. Why can we not remember any names in this show?
Why am I blanking out?
This is going to get worse. You're talking this is going to get worse when we get to the 80s, and I'm just like, Prithvi Shaw.
Oh, okay. God, okay, that just confused me.
Okay, right, so if you get Patidar, Prithvi,
I'll throw in Shashank Singh or Ashutosh. One of them you can take.
Yeah.
I'll give you
Or
one.
Ash,
Pick one.
Ashutosh, or Shashank, right? And then you just
Hmm.
give up. I would give up Tashara or Ish, or
Yeah. Okay.
they could take Malinga too if they wanted him.
Ishan Malinga. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think if I'm India, I'd want one of Tushara, or because Tushara works well because he's a new ball bowler, right?
So that
Like
then,
maybe
if you look at
Patharan and
India,
Abdul, there's too
then
much overlap.
they have Blessing for the games where they need something with the new ball, and they had Tashara for something. I know can bowl with the new ball, but they need Tashara for the death, right? And they're not losing anything particularly that we are thinking will cost them a World Cup. Now, one of these guys could be the Sanju Samson of a future edition, but realistically, these guys are not in their plans at the moment.
So
Am I
the
right?
other
Am I wrong?
interesting trade I had is, yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, do
Is
both
what
teams
would
say
Netherlands
yes?
want
Is
for
my
Baz
question.
Jalida? Oh, sorry. Yes, I would say yes from an India perspective. I'm like, sure, take them.
Okay.
I'd like, I mean,
So if you're
like,
Zimbabwe and you end up with a decent bowling option for your other, you've still got Brad Evans and you've still got Ngarava and you've got other guys coming through. They have bowling. You give yourself one extra skillful seamer. You instantly have hitting down the order and a proper top order player to go with Bennett, right? And as you said, you threw in a spinner as well. So they have another specialist spinner to come in to that side if they want it. I think that's an upgrade on just having Blessing. So both teams kind of win from that. If you're Sri Lanka, I'm not sure. I'm not sure even how much they believe in Tushar, right? Like he seems to be there and thereabouts. To get back Patadar, Prithvi Shaw, and one of these other later order hitters, take him. Do whatever you need with him. But if you do that,
yeah,
you instantly need India. If you're Sri Lanka, no matter how good your team gets, you can never beat India.
yeah, that's true.
See,
One of the reasons I was suggesting players like Ruturaj is because there's a 2027 ODI World Cup coming
yep.
up, right? Is in your mind? Are you not thinking maybe we could use a few ODI players?
But I think Sri Lanka has ODI players. I'm not. That's not my worry for them. Is that they have got what they don't have is guys who can transform a situation. They might not. I mean, Nasanka might be as good as Gaikwad, slightly better than Gaikwad. He looks a little bit better at the moment. I don't know, but they're in the ballpark of each other, right? You have that kind of player. You don't have anyone like Patadar. You bat Patadar at number 4 in this lineup with Kusal Mendes at 3, right? And you've got Nasanka and one of the other, options to open the batting. Or actually, you could have Prithvi Shaw opening with Nasanka. You have Kusal Mendes at 3. You have Patadar at 4. You have, guys like Walalage,
Kamindu,
Shashank, whoever you put. That's only a good one day and a good T20 lineup, isn't it?
Yeah, I think T20 for sure. One day I'm like, maybe. Like, I don't remember how good Patadar is off the top of my head. So that's the only thing I'm thinking of.
I mean, I think that would be the least of my concerns is if Rajat Patadar is good. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I get away with that, he's a handsome man, put him on some billboards, my bigger concern with him would be age, I would have thought, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
List A cricket, he averages 37 at a strike rate of 100. If I'm Sri Lanka right now, I'm picking that. I'm taking that in my side.
Yeah, if you haven't realized, Jarrod is very intent-built in ODI cricket.
Well, no,
so
it's not. I don't have a problem with the anchors, but they have anchors, right? And they haven't really been any good with all these anchors. If you're Sri Lanka, you need some power with that, right? And I think if you put the 3 guys that we're talking in there, that's actually now, as we said before, that's a lot of good. We have throw Hasaranga in there as well, right? And you've got a lot of all-round skill in Walalage and Hasaranga. You've got a lot of guys who can clear the ropes whenever they need to. Fast scoring and everything else. Prithvi Shaw, by the way, do you want his record in List A cricket?
Well, I'm going to guess, what was it? 52 at 115. Let's go.
53 at 124.
Okay.
It is actually a crime against cricket that this guy is not playing at the top level. It is. It annoys me on and I know why, and I know he has issues and everything else. So I think if I'm Sri Lanka, with the bowling depth I have at the moment and the lack of power, if I can do that, I mean, Dustin Shanaka doesn't even get in the side, right? And that's kind of what you want. You want him to be a fringe player who can come in when you need him, right?
Mm.
All right. Do you want to go back in
So
time?
wait,
Yeah, we've done this. This is done.
let's go.
Come on.
Yeah, yes. I actually had an interesting one. Do you want to do your back in the time one first, or do you want me to go? Because I
I
need
want me
some.
to
I
go
need
because
some
I'm
help.
desperate. I basically hijacked yours at
Go
the
for it.
end.
Go for it. Have go for it. Let me in.
In the late 2000s, or sorry, late 1990s into early 2000s, Pakistan had Abdul Razak and Azam Mahmood, and they are basically the same cricketer, right? Their skills
Mm.
overlap so incredibly, right? They are both incredible fifth bowlers who can hit the ball very, very hard and on occasion play a great innings, but are probably a number seven, with a bit of damage, right? And I think what actually happens with Pakistan at times is they don't even pick their full-fledged bowling lineup all the way through because they've got these two guys that are both like incredible. The interesting thing is that Azam Mahmood's career doesn't actually kind of go anywhere, right? Like he doesn't have the kind of success that you would think that he would need, right? That sort of I think he's lost. He doesn't bowl the right overs. They bowl him as a death bowler. He ends up averaging 38 in one-day cricket with an economy of. I've completely lost his record here. Yeah, he averages 39, sorry, with an economy of 4.62. And what's that? That's throughout the 2000s until about 2007. So 96 to 2007. He actually kept playing like forever, of course, which was funny. I think he played his last game for Surrey in 2016. Um, and so with him, you have this kind of a dynamic player who wasn't used correctly in one-day cricket because instead of bowling as the fifth bowler, they often bowled him as the fourth bowler, and he bowled a lot at the death, which he eventually got really good at. But this is generations later. And with the batting, again, him and Abdul Razak were kind of in each other's way, and they didn't work and the way that they both should have. But if you look at them as cricketers, and especially if you follow Azam Mahmood's career all the way through, there is absolutely no doubt that this guy was a much better player than we ended up seeing at international level, right? So let's just pluck him out of Pakistan, it's ODI side for a moment, and then let's trade him for Michael DiVenuto, Brad Hodge, and Shane Lee from Australia. Right. So Brad Hodge plays a little bit of cricket for Australia in one-day cricket, in and out of the side. Obviously, more of a fringe player at times, and frontline. He instantly makes Pakistan's batting better. Michael DiVenuto had a very, very good start to his career, and then teams worked out how to bowl to him. Michael DiVenuto was 5 times better after he finishes playing for Australia than he was when he played for Australia. And you still get back a bit of Shane Lee. Australia's not using Shane Lee. By that stage, they've got Brendan Julian, they've got Ian Harvey, they've got Andrew Simons, they've got 3 other all-rounders that and Shane Lee is that kind of a very similar kind of cricketer to Azam Mahmood, right? So if you still want to use that kind of player, you can still very, very much use him. In fact, he has a better record when bowling for Australia, even if Australia never really felt like he did. But you can get those players back. But what Australia gets, Varun, is a genuine all-round option for themselves for the next how many years. So Azam Mahmood, even though he never made any runs in ODI cricket, actually averages about 30 in Test cricket, right? And part of the reason he didn't make any runs in ODI cricket is because they used him in such a weird way, and he quite often came in as the slogger at the end. He can revolutionise that Australian lineup. So Australia become a side that Azam Mahmood can bat at number 7 for them if they want. They could also bat him at number 8 and then still use guys like Andrew Simons, Michael Clark, whoever else they want up the order. They can even go in with an Ian Harvey lineup, right, where they have Harvey at 7 and Azam Mahmood at 8, which gives them, incredible power all the way down the order. So they have multiple different options that they can go in with at that stage as well. But I think Ian Harvey and Azam Mahmood kind of overlap in a poor way. Whereas I think if you flip those things around, what you end up with is this incredible situation where if Andrew Simons bats at 5 and Michael Clark's somewhere in the top 6 as well, you then have
Do
enough.
you mean Bevan?
Hey?
Do you mean Michael Clark or Michael Bevan?
I mean Michael Clark, because I'm kind of thinking that you get Azam Mahmood young,
Oh.
and you have him from 2000
Oh.
through to about 2012 until
Ah.
Shane Watson takes over, right? right? It might even be before that, but you can then change that lineup quite a bit, and it means that that Australia has this extra skill, and Shane Watson bowls at the top, and Azam Mahmood bowls in the middle and at the end, so you can actually end up upgrading your fifth bowler even further, right? By having this kind of a lineup. That Australia don't get. I don't know how many games Brad Hodge actually plays. But by this stage, I think Shane Lee is kind of already done as an Australian cricketer. I'm trying to think of when you might only get 2 or 3 years out of him if you're Pakistan, out of Shane Lee, but I think he could have played on a little bit longer, unless I'm misremembering. But Brad Hodge plays until what? Last year? Like Brad Hodge's
75.
Yeah, Brad Hodges' last game is what? In first class cricket is 2009, and in T20 cricket is 2018, right? But he only plays 25 ODIs for Australia.
Yeah.
Right? So you're not losing a lot if you're Australia to get rid of Brad Hodge. Pakistan have upgrade their opening position. Hodge probably bats at 3, right? And then you've got Inzi, and you got all these other guys. You got Yusuf.
So which opener did Australia give up against?
Michael Di Venuto.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So again, Michael Di Venuto probably plays maybe slightly later. I'm trying to think of how many he played compared to. I'm trying to remember how many he would have played compared to Hodge. None of these 3 guys play all that much for Australia in that era, right? And so you're not really losing anything at all. But Australia is upgrading themselves with an all-rounder that they haven't really paid all that much for, and getting rid of guys who've played maybe 80 combined ODIs, right?
Yeah, I think it's a good deal for both sides, because Pakistan maybe, I think, losing faith in Azhar by that point, and Razak is just coming into his own, right?
Right. That's what I mean. Like, if you're thinking about it from that
teams.
perspective, and I also think that they get in each other's way just because they're the same player too much, right? And so I think you can actually get to a point where you can strengthen both sides, and Pakistan then become and remember, Australia's just beaten Pakistan in a World Cup at this point, right? And Pakistan is about to go on a bit of a dip, right? But they still have fast bowling. This gives them a little bit more flexibility with the bat. Shane Lee, you probably don't get much out of, but you have him as a backup in squads for the next couple of years. But Di Venuto probably is at least a fringe level player or better for a while. And Brad Hodge would have been a star if he'd been in any other country, right? Like in Australia's team, he's all over the place, but in his career, he averages 43 in List A cricket, right? And in ODIs, he had a strike rate of 87. Like, he was probably scoring quicker than most Pakistani players by a considerable distance in that period of time.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, because Pakistan really don't have any opening at that point. Right? One Saeed Anwar has a form dip as well, right?
Right.
And for some reason, they refuse to open with Shahid Afridi after a while, but oh well.
Yeah. So I think that then that just makes their side a lot more dynamic. And the interesting thing is that Azam Mahmood doesn't have a great ODI career, right? It's not the form, even though he should have. He doesn't actually go on to have a great ODI career at that stage. So they're not really missing anything. Whereas, by the way, Azam Mahmood never played for Pakistan in T20 cricket, which is one of the funniest things ever. 230 T20 games he played with a bowling average of 24, and he averaged 25 with a strike rate of 135 in T20 cricket, and never played a game for them. So my point again being is, if he was available at that around at that stage, and he was playing at that level because he's playing better, because Australia's using him in a more interesting way, and a way that suits him a little bit more. I think you probably get him averaging 22 to 24, right? With the bat minimum. I think you could average even more than that. And then on top of that, you get this really flexible fifth bowler, and Australia still has other guys who can bowl around that side. So they don't even need him to bowl all that much if on days where it doesn't suit him.
Yeah, I like it. So what would Pakistan's updated team be? Let's say if they have Saeed Anwar, the Michael Di Venuto.
Does Saeed Anwar even play in the early 2000s?
He plays till 2003 World Cup. I know that for sure.
Oh, okay.
Then I don't think he plays.
So yeah, so it would be those two. Then you would have what? You probably
Moyo, Inzi.
I would say you would probably go Moyo, Inzi, Hodge in that order.
You go Moeense. Okay, I think
Yeah.
that works.
And then if you needed Shane Lee, you probably bat him. You probably have Afridi, Lee, Abdul Razak in that sort of lower middle order, right? And even though Shane Lee's a bit of a biffer himself, he's probably of those
You cannot
three.
have that because you need a keeper there.
Oh yeah, sorry, but yeah. I mean, I think you just use Shane Lee anyway as your backup if you want him.
Yeah.
So that you still have that kind of player around, without having to worry about it all that much. By the way, there's other options too in Australian cricket that are a bit like Shane Lee that you could. How old is Rod Tucker? Can we look up Rod Tucker's stats? I wonder how old Rod Tucker is.
So around the same period, Jarrod, I just thought of this on the spot, is South Africa don't have a spinner, right? And Pakistan clearly don't want to pick Mushtaq Ahmed in any format.
Oh,
is there something South Africa can give up that Pakistan want to seriously upgrade the spin bowling?
So again, let's do it in 2000 because this happens then right after both of these teams have been kicked in the teeth by Australia in 99, right?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. I have another trade for South Africa just after this. But yeah, so if Pakistan gives Mushi.
Yeah.
I don't know what South Africa has to offer that they would take unless they
Pakistan need opening, and South Africa don't have opening at that point, right?
Yep. The only thing I would say is there an argument to be had for, I don't know, that sort of Elworthy, Telemarcus type seamers, but a bunch of them, where
I don't know if Pakistan would want that.
But Pakistan's bowling drops off quite a bit in the early 2000s, doesn't it?
They don't know that in the head. That if this is 2000, right? Yeah. Pakistan always think, one thing we know about Pakistan that stayed consistent. They always think there's a new seamer coming up.
So what does South Africa give them then? They don't need more all-rounders. Even if they've done this trade, surely...
Here's the other thing. I think we need one of India or Sri Lanka to get involved in this, to give up some opening. So see if we can craft that.
So who's Sri Lanka's
opening? We need
opening?
some team. Who the hell is Sri Lanka's opening? That would be Sanath at that point. Is Kalu still around?
No, he went. He wasn't. He actually wasn't around that long, Kalu, at all.
So India's interesting because
was Marvin Adapatu opening in ODIs for them at that point?
No, I actually have an idea. We can involve India, and India don't know how to use Sehwag because Ganguly in such an opening.
Yes.
So he doesn't always play for them. So he can come into this conversation nicely at that point.
So what? Viru goes to Pakistan. Mushi
goes... Viru could also go to South Africa. They would love him too.
So let's say Viru goes to Pakistan. Mushi goes to South Africa. What does South Africa give India? Seam bowling? Or all-rounders?
Yes.
All-rounders, probably, isn't it?
Both. Let's say both. Why not?
So who do they give up specifically?
What time period is this? 2000, right?
2000-ish.
Klusner is too old, I'd imagine. If this is after 2000, I don't think they will give up Klusner because if this is just after 1999,
okay, so they've got three main all-rounders, right?
Okay.
They've got Kallis, Pollock, and Klusner. Klusner's the only one of those three you can give up.
Klusner is but
you can't give him up after the 99 World Cup.
You can't give him up, and it's also I love Sehwag, but it's just not worth. It's not a like-for-like trade in that point. You seriously get hard done if you're South Africa, right?
But there is a way of South Africa looking at this going, we get a world-class spinner for the next 5 to 10 years. Klusner is older, but yeah, they can't do that. I don't know I think it has to be seam to India if it's not all-rounders.
Yeah,
agreed. You're not going to get. I mean, India's not going to take
seamers they can give up anyway.
Or do you know what I mean? And I can't think of any other early 2000s all-rounders in South Africa because McMillan's done by that point.
Pollock is at the peak of his powers. They won't give him Kallis too.
I do have a trade for Kallis, by the way, but I don't think I don't think it fits into this because I think Mushi and Viru are not. Also, you don't know how long Mushi's going to bowl for, right?
That's true. That is very true.
So it's probably that sort of, again, to go back to what we were saying before, and I do have this somewhere. It's probably
Or could it be a very simple three-way trade, Jarrod? You give Sevag, Mishi, and Klusner, and just rotate amongst each other.
I just don't think it can be Klusner, can it? Like, if I'm South
Yeah,
Africa at
that's
that
fair.
point, I'm probably assuming that I'm going to
How
go.
high are they on Callis and ODI cricket at 2000?
They're very high on him. I think I can make a
Okay.
different trade later that will make more sense for Callis that you will agree with. I don't think this is the trade they are going to put him in.
Mm.
All right, let me just have a look at
Okay.
who we're talking about. South Africa's fast bowling in early 2000s. So they got Pollock, Antini, Callis, Klusner, Donald. Yeah, so I think Telemarcus is an interesting one. And, oh, actually, there are two other players that we haven't thought about that India might be interested in. So Roger Telemarcus, when does he play from? He plays 37 ODIs, averaging 28. And he probably finishes around 2007, 2008. That's a good fringe bowler for a fringe batter at that stage in Viru. But you can then, maybe you can ask for Andrew Hall.
Yeah,
I
think that's fair.
If you're India, and if you don't like Andrew Hall, can I interest you in a Justin Kemp? So I think
Kemp is very strong.
I think if I'm India, I ask for Telemarcus and one of those two guys.
I like it, yeah.
Because if you're,
this
is the thing with South Africa, they don't need these guys, right? Andrew Hall and Justin Kemp don't really help their side all that much when they already have other all-rounders who are much better.
Yeah.
Now, they would. This is where South Africa might say no because they're like, oh, we've got all these all-rounders and everything else. But Justin Kemp plays 85 ODI games. He bowls in about 50 of them, so barely an all-rounder. Averages 31, so he's fine. With the bat, he averages 31 at a strike rate of 83. Not quite up there with his reputation of being a big hitter, but obviously can be a big hitter. Also, I would argue that he's the kind of player that India don't really create all that much of. Especially in those
I'll add something. Let's say this is only an India-South Africa trade right now, because I think I don't know if Mishi works well. What if India throw in Virendra Sehwag and Harbhajan Singh into the mix, both of them together? Like, would that change things with what South Africa give up? Because you have Kumble at that point.
Yeah, but you have to think that Kumble's been playing for a long time by that point. Aren't you not nervous?
Okay.
When does Murali Karthik
would you give up Sehwag and Kumble? Must be 2004. I think that's international cricket. I don't know about domestic cricket.
I think Murali Karthik's
2000. He debuts 2000, Jarrod.
In domestic or international?
International cricket.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I came up with a Murali Karthik trade, but I do. I do have one later on, which is quite a fascinating one. Again, but yeah, I think I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's an interesting direction to go in. But yeah, if I'm India, I don't think you need to though, do you? What? And then you get Telemarcus, Hall, or Kemp.
Kemp, right? Yeah.
But surely Viru is enough for those two.
Yeah, maybe. Like in case South Africa just wants to like push the value up, and that's what you do in negotiations, right? You want to get as much as you can.
Yeah,
because I can't imagine Viru would have been that good at that point.
That's true. So if you get Murali, yeah, and then so Pakistan end up with, wait, who's Pakistan getting here? We've cut Pakistan out.
No, I'm just saying this is just an India-South Africa trade. Just put Pakistan aside.
We've cut Pakistan out. Okay, no, I think that's fascinating. Yeah. Can I give you another one from this period? Then?
Yeah, very Indian of me to cut Pakistan out of a deal, but yes.
Hey. All right. Year 2000. I don't know why I keep going to year 2000. I just think it's a really fascinating period because Australia's about to dominate, and there's a couple of other teams that are very good, right? Callis.
Okay.
For Stuart Law, Brad Hogg, and Ryan Campbell.
My word, that is a trade. Okay. So it's Stuart Law, Brad Hogg, did you say?
I've got all the Brads.
Oh wow, that's a lot of bread.
It's more
Didn't Ryan
Brads
Campbell?
than
Does he play for? Does Ryan Campbell play for Zimbabwe? Or am I thinking of a different Campbell?
Ryan Campbell eventually plays for Hong Kong, but he did play for
Oh.
Australia briefly. But he's about what, probably third or fourth on the depth chart at various times, depending on kind of when you look at
Mm-hmm.
Australian wicket keepers.
Oh,
He was
okay.
incredible, by the way. He would have been, again, a bit like Brad Hodge we talked about before. Ryan Campbell would have been a fantastic international player if he had got the chance to do it. He played 5 internationals, and I think 3. So I think it's 3 T20s for Hong Kong and 2 ODIs for Australia, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
List A cricket, he averages 23, but he was an absolute dirty slogger in those games. And I think if he's playing for a proper team, he would have done a lot better. He averages 37 in first class cricket. But he is kind of your backup sloggy wicketkeeper. If you're
So I have his numbers, by the way. So from 96 to 99 in Australia's domestic competition, he averaged 22 with a strike rate of 83.
Ryan Campbell.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So he's basically your backup to
hmm.
Boucher if you want someone who goes a bit harder.
If I'm South Africa, I'm asking for Haddon.
All the Brads. Okay. I forgot there was a third Brad.
Yes, all the Brads.
Yeah. There's also Luke Ronke.
Oh yeah, I forgot he existed for Australia. Yes. Yes.
I probably keep Haddon because I think Haddon's the future. And I probably go Campbell or Ronke. Right? I'm trying to think. Ronke might be too young at that point, though. But yeah, you can ask for him. I don't know if you're getting him. You can always get a backup Australian bowler as well if you wanted to, right?
So by that point, Brad Haddon from 97 to 99 played 12 List A games, averaged 32 with a strike rate of 99.
Okay, and Luke Ronke makes his debut for. He's 2002. He might be 2001. Might be a bit late on this one.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I don't think you can count him in this.
Okay, you can ask for Haddon. Yeah. I don't know. The problem with Haddon is he is actually a very similar age to Gilchrist, right?
Is he the same age as Gilchrist?
Well, he's not the same age, but if you look at Brad Haddon, he must make his debut for the Canberra Comets or whatever they were called in the 90s. When does he make his debut?
So I have 97. I don't know if that's accurate, but
97. Yeah. That's right. So he makes his debut in 97.
He was 20 then.
Right. So Gilchrist is probably about 26, 27?
Yeah, because he's quite old when he debuts in the test team. So yes. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's a generation difference, right?
Here's a big difference with Ryan Campbell and Mark Boucher, this is the flexibility that Ryan Campbell gives you. Ryan Campbell can open the batting, and he can play the Kalu role, and he can bat in multiple positions. Whereas Mark Boucher at international level can really only play 6, 7, and 8, right? Probably 7 and 8, but those. I think Ryan Campbell can play in. I think Ryan Campbell's
9 or 10 in some South African teams, but yes.
Yeah. So again, I think that gives you, and also I think there's a bit more instant power. But anyway, then you've got Stuart Law. So Stuart Law plays 54 ODI games. He averages 27 with the bat in those. Doesn't completely start, but again, he's a backup Australian player, right? Like he's always in the wrong batting position. Stuart Law in first class cricket, 27,000 runs at an average of 50. Stuart Law in
your thoughts on Jimmy Ma?
We'll get to Jimmy Ma in a minute. That's interesting as well. Stuart Law List A cricket, 11,000 runs, an average of 35 with 20 hundreds. I just think that Stuart Law is the kind of player that South Africa didn't have in that era, who you just knows going to make runs. Jimmy Ma, what's Jimmy Ma's figures?
So Stuart Law averaged 40 at a strike rate of 94 in the List A competition in the 90s. Jimmy Ma is 48 at 75.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, you could take. I would probably say Stuart Law was the better bat out of the two of them, but Jimmy Ma could also wicket keep sometimes.
Ross Taylor couldn't see at night or when the clouds were in. Eventually, he had to see an eye specialist who would fix his eyesight. In the 2 years before the change, he still averaged more than 50 in international cricket. The top level of batting talent can basically see in the dark. That is who we are talking about in our new book, The Art of Batting. Head over and order your copy today.
Yes.
So they do give themselves a bit more flexibility. I think Stuart Law is important. We've already talked about Brad Hodge, his ridiculous record. Brad Hogg gives them something quite interesting, though. At that stage, Brad Hogg could bat too, remember, right? Brad Hogg was a number 6 when he started for Western Australia. Again, in the South African side, he might bat at number 10, but he might be the world's best number 10 by a considerable distance. He's a wrist spinner and everything else. Now, let's talk about Callis. I don't think Callis helps this side. And this is not Callis's fault. I think Callis in other teams will be sensational. But I think specifically in this side, he doesn't help because Klusner is there and then Pollock is there. And you can't unlock Klusner or Pollock with Callis. And they have other guys who score at a similar rate to Callis already.
So I think the issue, Jarrod, is for Australia as well. And I don't know if they're thinking of it at that point is if Callis plays, he has to bat in the top 3. That means Ricky Ponting can't bat at 3.
I thought about this.
And you have Gilchrist and Hayden at some point. They come together, right?
Yeah. Why doesn't he just bat at 4 though?
He's not a bad player of spin, to be fair, in ODI cricket.
If he bats, so we tried to get Azam Mahmood into this side. Callis is a better bowler than Azam Mahmood.
Yes, comfortably. Yeah.
If McGrath is bowling, McGrath and Brett Lee are bowling with the new ball, at first change comes on Callis.
Yes.
I don't know how you play this side.
Yeah, and if you have Dizzy as well with those two, he would be the second change.
Right? Dizzy bowls second change. You'll eventually have guys like Bracken coming through, right?
Yeah.
They've got, Mitchell Johnson will come through. Like there's, Sean Tate. So you've got Callis at one end bowling, continuing to swing the ball away for a little while. And at the other end, you've got, this vastly different kind of bowler. I just think, and then they've, the spin options are still bad, but they basically, you can almost play Callis if you wanted to as your 4.5 bowler rather than your 5th bowler. Like you can have flexibility. Yeah. Once you have Callis, and don't forget, as we said before, eventually Callis will overlap with Watson as well.
Yes. That is a lot of options.
So you bowl Callis between bit, right? You bowl Callis between overs 10 and 12, and you bowl Watson, 10 and 22, and you bowl Watson between overs, 22 and 32. You've basically got 10 overs out of your 5/6 bowler there, right?
And Andrew Simons can bowl if for some reason if you need him to.
Andrew Simons or Michael Clark bowl a little bit if they're both still fitting in the side, which I'm sure you would be able to at least get one of them in, probably both of them in that lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the issue I think is if you go to South Africa with Stuart Law, Brad Hodge, Brad Hogg, and Ryan Campbell, they just say no.
Interesting.
So do you have to offer... So let's take Ryan Campbell out and put Brad Haddon in.
Do you think Australia would give up Michael Clark at that point, or is he too young?
No. Okay. It's a bit rogue, but remember, he's not playing for Australia at all at this point. What about Mike Hussey?
Okay, I figured you would say him. But here's the thing, though. Is that not... If he's not playing for Australia, then did they know he's very good at that point?
I think people knew he was... Yeah, maybe not. But Brad Hodge
has to be.
But at that point, Brad Hodge is the Michael Hussey, and you end up with Michael Hussey being the Brad Hodge, if that makes sense, right? You got to remember that people thought Brad Hodge played for Victoria when he was about 17, 18. Everyone thought he was going to be the next big star. I think he made 1,000 runs in his first Shield.
So sorry, Jarrod. Is this 2000, right? Are we saying, or is it is there a specific time frame?
Yeah, I'm saying I think a lot of these things happened just after the '99 World Cup.
So do you think South Africa would ask him Marco?
He's quite old though by that point, isn't he?
I don't know. I'm just wondering, because don't they is it old by normal standards or like Australian standards? Because Australian old is very weird at times.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if Mark Waugh's the one I'm looking at. Bevan might be, but I don't know if they need another aggregator.
You don't need
type
Bevan
player.
in that same. Yeah. So if you're South Africa, right, you're swapping out a top order player, so you need another top order player, right? Someone who's good.
I think they
ideally
need
in the first 11. That's the way
I think they need
logically
multiple top order players, is what I'm saying. I think for South Africa.
So my logic is,
yeah, go.
If I'm South Africa, I'm giving up my first front line, so like number 3. I need something similar to that from your end. We love all the backup options you're offering, and we think they're good too. But we need someone we need you to give up something you actually care about. Otherwise, I don't think there's a point in doing this trade, right?
Yeah, but okay. Well, then, if that's the case, you could give up. But I think that's too early for Clark. Then.
Okay.
What about Martin?
That's fair. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just looking at.
So I'm just going to go through their batting for a minute, South Africa, just to explain why I am making this choice, right? So Callis averages from 2000 to 2004. Callis averages 48 at a strike rate of 71, right? You've got Herschel Gibbs who can whack him. You've then got Gary Kirsten, Jonty Rhodes. Jonty Rhodes actually has a really good period in that, probably his best. You've got Botar Dippenaar, who is incredibly slow. You've got Mark Boucher, who they're batting at like number 9, right? You've got Neil McKenzie, again, another guy not get around the corner. You've got early career Graham Smith, who's not really scoring all that quickly. You've got, you just don't have that much batting, right? You don't have like dynamic batting through this lineup. You're hoping that Jonty's late career form goes really well. Callis and Kirsten and Dippenaar are all incredibly slow, right? Even for the era at times. Neil McKenzie is incredibly slow. Graham Smith is incredibly slow. Right, you can with my lineup, Hodge, Law, and these guys, and Haddon, and whoever else you want to drop in if you want to add an extra batter, are just going to be quicker. They're going to give you a bit more, and also, I don't think you can build a batting lineup around Neil McKenzie and Botar Dippenaar in one-day cricket in that period.
So I have a question. Do you think Australia would have given up Darren Lehman at that point instead of one of the other names you mentioned?
So Darren Lehman hits the winning runs in the 99 World Cup, right? He's got to be past it by that point, doesn't he? How much would he have played for Australia at that point? I can't imagine it's a lot. Let me just look at Australia's batting line and see if I've got anyone else.
He plays till 2005, I think. Yes.
For Australia?
Yeah.
So Darren Lehman averages from the start of 2000 until the end of 2003. So 4 years, he averages 53 at a strike rate of 85. Yep, I'll give him up. Yeah,
I think that seals it for me. I think I need Lehman in this. I think I need a frontline player. I think that's what I need if I'm South Africa.
More than happy with Lehman, yeah.
Yeah.
Clark does start in 2003, by the way, depending on when we make this trade.
Here's the thing. The other thing, Jarrod, is if you're South Africa, you probably don't need a top order player for more than 4 or 5 years, because that's when Amla, AB, all of them come in. Right? You don't know this yet, but you're probably
but that's
hearing murmurs.
That's like 6 or 7 years later, isn't it? Than what we're talking.
So Amla, no, I'm assuming
Amla isn't good until 2007, and De Villiers isn't good until after that.
No, I'm not saying they would have done well by that point. At least you're they're in the back of your mind because they must have been good at school level too.
Yeah,
you usually hear these murmurs, Jarrod. Right? That's one of the things you always know.
Yeah, but I think if I'm the team, I'm thinking these guys are so you lose Callis at 3 and you put Stuart Law at 3. You have Gibbs opening up with, I don't think we've got another opener, whoever their second opener would be in that period, which is part of the problem. But
is this Gary Kirsten?
Yeah, it probably is. Gibbs and Gary Kirsten. Yeah. Smith. So Smith takes over that role. So it's going to be Gibbs and Smith. It's going to be Stuart Law at 3. It's going to be Darren Lehman at 4. Brad Hodge at 5, Jonty Rhodes at 6. Klusner at 7.
Maybe one batter too many, I think.
Klusner at 7, Pollock at 8.
They need keeper, right? Am I misremembering something?
No, you're not. We are missing a keeper in that.
Yeah, so one batter too many then.
Yeah, so you can maybe bring Brad Haddon into that spot at one stage ahead of them as well.
Yes.
I just think that in those games when they needed something,
so
like,
what would you go? So you would go, let's say Kirsten Smith. I already forgot who we picked. So
no,
Stuart Law. Stuart Law. Sorry, Gibbs and Smith.
Yeah,
Stuart Law, and then Darren Lehman.
Yep.
Let's say Klusner 5.
Okay.
Who the hell was 6? Hodge 6, Haddon 7? Or why, like Hodge 5?
Yeah, you probably
Klusner
still need
6,
John T in
7?
there as got. So now you've got.
I don't think you can put John T in.
Well, he was averaging about 50 at a strike rate of 90 when we looked it up a minute ago. So,
fair enough. Okay, so you can keep Brad Hodge on your bench at that point, right? You don't.
That's
need to
my
play
point.
him.
Or Brad Hodge can bat 3 and Stuart Law goes out. But now the difference between that side and the side we actually saw for South Africa is there is genuine competition for the batters, right? Because if you go back to what we were talking about a minute ago with South Africa and their lineup, right? So you now have the ability for some of those other guys to break into the side. You can use your all-rounders a little bit better. You've maybe got a young Jacques Rudolph coming through or something who's actually having to fight against some of these players. Guys like McKenzie, Dippenaar, and Kirsten don't even need to play, right? But they're still strengthening the overall core when there's an injury or you need to bring someone in or you need flexibility. Whereas at the moment, 2 of those is almost locked into the Sri Lanka, the South African side, right? Like if you think of the difference that we can make with this team, so if we look at the Sri Lanka, what was it, a quarterfinal? Was it a Super 8 game, wasn't it, or something? Whatever it was, a 2003 game, right? So their batting lineup is 2003. Their batting lineup in that is Smith, Gibbs, Kirsten, Callis, Dippenaar. So basically in that top 5, they have 4 guys scoring too slow at that point. And we just go, yank! And we completely change the batting order forever. And then, as we said, if Hodge or Law, I think the strength of Hodge or Law is you don't actually need them to be frontline players. Right? I think they would be much better for South Africa than they ever would have been with Australia because they would have played for a long amount of time and everything else. They were slightly more aggressive than some of these players who played for South Africa as well. But you don't need them. They just give you a little bit of a boom if they work. I think that's a fantastic lineup.
I love it. From both sides, right?
Yeah, and if you're Australia, you're just like, okay, you guys going to have all this. No one's going to beat us anyway now because we have Callis. So, and then it's just a generation of Australia moaning that they keep winning and that Callis is boring to watch, which is even better. Is that not a win for the world, Varun?
That is always a win for the world. That is always. So, Jarrod, how much time do you have left?
I think we can do one more because I do have 1, 2. I do have about 5 more. Why don't we do one more each, but we'll do it a bit quicker?
Sorry?
Let's do one more each, but make them a little bit quicker.
Okay, so I have a very interesting trade in 1996, right? I have the rough idea of what I want to do, but I don't know if I got the pieces all together correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm thinking just after the 1996 World Cup, right?
Yep.
Okay. So India would give up like Sachin, right? South Africa would,
and that's the end of the Combox network. It's been fun while it lasted.
Yeah. So India would give up Sachin, like South Africa would give up Klusner, right? Australia would give up like Fleming, Hayden, Law, like some of the bunch of the backup batters and all rounders, like Ian Harvey, Cade Harvey,
all the Harveys,
right? All the Harveys. Pakistan would give up Razak, Aqib Javed, and Mushtaq Ahmed.
Jesus.
Right?
Wait a minute. Okay, let's just get back to Australia. You're talking about backup batting.
Yeah. So Fleming, Hayden, Law, Mayer, Ian Harvey.
Fleming's a bowler,
right?
Are you talking about bowlers as well?
Yes, I'm saying everything, right?
Yeah, blackout.
So what
players,
I want is
and Pakistan's giving up Aqib.
No, Aqib Javed, Abdul Razak, and Mushtaq Ahmed.
Okay.
So in my head, South Africa get opening and Mushy. Australia will get Klusner. India will get all the fast bowling they want, plus Fleming, right? So that's my ideal scenario that I want to end up in. I don't know if I've got the right names. Which is my worry.
So India get Akib and Damien Fleming in this, right?
India get Akib. I had someone else they get. 1 second. Yes, India gets Fleming, Akib Javi. So, wait. They get Fleming, Akib Javi, and Abdul Razak is what I'm looking at. And maybe like one of the openers. I don't know. From Australia.
Okay, so Australia's got who have they got on the bench? They've got Hayden, they've got Ma, they've got Divenuto.
I have Stuart Law as well.
Elliot.
Jamie Siddons.
Elliot. Those guys are a bit further down the order, the other two.
Yeah.
They've got Hayden, Ma,
names,
Diva, Elliot.
Yeah.
Hussey.
So in the end, what I want is
no, it's 96.
Hayden.
96. Too early.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I want Pakistan to get Hayden, Siddons, and Stuart Law, or like Siddons, replace Siddons with someone else, right? And then for kickers, they also get Tom Moody, right? Because they're giving up Razak in this ordeal, right?
Okay. Yep.
And then obviously, like Australia would get Klusner, and I forgot to mention, I'm also giving up Venkatapati Raju as well as Fluxum in this because they're like, might as well give them to the Aussies. Just throw them in there.
I tell you what, we almost got cancelled when you said you were trading Sachin, right? I will cancel you for calling him Fluxum. The great Venkatapati Raju. Okay, so
Legend. But India don't pick him after that, right?
So who's he going to play for, Raju?
I have him for Australia just because why not?
Okay.
South Africa
who is actually getting Sachin in this?
South Africa.
So all they're giving up is Klusner for Sachin.
No, but there's also multiple people, right?
No, but South Africa's only giving up Klusner in this. And they're getting Sachin back.
Who else did I actually throw? Yes. Oh, South Africa. Oh, sorry. I had Klusner and Elworthy. That's what I was forgetting. for argument's sake. That's what I mean, Jarrod. I have an idea of who I want to go where.
Now,
but I don't know who should go.
Elworthy is Flotsam, by the way.
Yes.
Hi, Steve, if you're watching.
He's definitely.
Okay, so if you're India, you're getting Abdul Razak, Akib Javed, Damien Fleming, and
Correct.
a batter, you're saying?
I think Jimmy Mara or David, like one of the Divenuto.
I think if I'm India, I'm asking for Hayden.
You're asking for, but I think if I'm Pakistan, because I'm giving up all these people, I want a good opener too, right? If you're Pakistan, you definitely want some more good batting, right?
Okay, so let's give Elliot to India then.
Okay.
What's Elliot's list A numbers? Do you have them?
I don't think that's very good.
I don't think they are either. I know he almost played for. Actually, he did play for Australia in one-day cricket. I didn't do much.
In the 90s, no, I don't have that period. He averaged 28 at 60.
List A career, he averages 46 with 1700.
So he improves clearly. Yeah.
Do you know what? He had a couple of just ridiculous years where no one would get him out. So if you're India, you're getting Akib, Razak, Fleming, Elliot.
Correct.
And then you probably need Divenuto too, then, don't you? In case Elliot doesn't work. Also, Michael Divenuto would have been pretty young in 96, I would have thought.
I have no clue whatsoever. Michael Divenuto.
Age. I love how the same kind of Australian players, every time we do these trades, just keep coming up over and over again.
Yes. He was 23 then.
Yeah, and he was about to play for Australia. I think that's fair because Elliot had played for Australia by that point, right? So I think I think those two make sense. So you're giving up Sachin and Venkatapati Raju, and you're getting back a fast bowler, a swing bowler, an all-rounder, and two proper Australian top order talents, right?
Correct.
Okay, so then if I am Pakistan...
I think if India would be really rating Sachin at this point, right? He was the best batter in the world. So
no,
I think
he
probably deserves a pepper.
You're getting like 5 or 6 players back for him. You're getting proper players back. I still think I need another bigger name in this if I'm India. I'll explain my India issue in a moment. Pakistan then is getting Hayden, Jimmy Ma. They're getting half of Queensland apparently. And they're getting Moody. Okay.
Oh, Ian Harvey. Whichever one Australia give up.
It's 96. If I'm Australia, I'm giving up Moody over Harvey, right? At
Okay.
96.
Mm-hmm.
When does Ian Harvey? Yeah, he's properly Australian level. Even if he hasn't played, he's like at that level at that point. So, and Moody's like you're not expecting Moody to play in the 99 World Cup, really, even though if he ends up doing it. I think that probably makes sense. Okay. Where does Mushy go?
I said South Africa.
So Mushy goes to South Africa. And
Sachin and Mushy go to South Africa.
If I'm South Africa and I have to give up Klusner and Elworthy and I end up with Mushy and Sachin.
That's what I didn't know who else to give up from South Africa. You should. You have to let me know. I know
you know who it should be. You're thinking about this wrong. You know who it should be. It shouldn't be cool. It shouldn't be Klusner. It should be Callis.
In '96.
It should be Callis at any stage because they have Klusner and they're going to get Pollock and they've got McMillan.
Okay.
Callis.
Okay, so let's say
if you really want to get a bunch of, if you want to get Sachin, we've got the most complicated trade in the world here, right? Let's just make this much easier. It's 1996.
Correct.
In India have Sachin, South Africa have Callis.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I wouldn't do it if I'm India.
Okay. What else do you need? Let's negotiate.
I need more fast bowlers.
Great.
I want more fast bowling.
Would you like Steve Elworthy? I'll give you Steve Elworthy. I will give you Craig Matthews.
Right.
I'll give you either like someone like Telemarcus, or I would give you, that Richard Snell. There you go.
Just like
you now have
interest in
you now have 4 fast bowlers, including Callis. You're losing strike rate, but you are getting back a similar amount of runs.
Are we getting back similar amount of runs?
What's the averages of the two men in one-day cricket? I would have thought they were similar.
Yeah, fair. Maybe. Yeah, fair. Yeah.
There's my trade. Callis and Flotsam. Sorry, Steve. For Sachin Tendulkar.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the issue. Does this actually make India a team that wins a World Cup?
No.
That's the problem.
So in my head, the reason I suggested the original trade is even without Sachin, right? Because you have the Azharuddin, Sidhu, like Ajay Jadeja type players. Not great ODI players, but good. Like decent ODI players, right? You'll still be making above average runs. And if you get like Fleming, Akib Javed, Razak, your bowling goes through the roof at that point, right? I think you accidentally would win a World Cup with that bowling. With Kumble at his peak as well, right? You almost Pakistan that World Cup at that point, right?
So you've got Kumble, Srinath, Callis,
yes, Kumble, Srinath,
Elworthy.
Not Callis. I'm saying the original trade, right? In my original trade, that's what I was. He would have Fleming. That's what I was thinking in the original trade.
Knowing that you're going into the 99 World Cup.
Correct.
And you've got Fleming as handy, isn't it? You got Fleming and Akib.
And Ganguly and Dravid
what's Akib doing in 99? Is he still playing?
Yeah, he's still playing. I don't think he's actually that old. Because Pakistan have so many seamers, he just doesn't play a lot.
Yeah. Okay. I still think if you're India and you've got Kumble, Srinath, Callis, Matthews or Snell.
I don't think I'm winning the World Cup with that. I'll be honest.
Maybe not with the batting.
Now, in England, if I have, let's say, Damien Fleming, right, Akib Javed, Abdul Razak, and Kumble, and Srinath.
But that trade doesn't make any... I just don't think that trade makes sense overall. I think you've got...
I agree with you. I just don't know who to give up from his team. Because I know who should go where, and I think I'm happy with who should go where. But someone else needs to go from South Africa, and I don't know who that is.
How old is Brian McMillan at this point? He's finished, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done. He would be too old.
Yeah. Okay.
Is Neil Johnson part of South Africa then?
Technically. So yes, you could trade him. Callis and Johnson for Sachin.
Again, it's the same question, Jarrod. Does that improve your ability to win?
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does.
That's what I mean. I don't know if there's a great Sachin trade.
I think there is, but you need multiple teams involved in it. There is no single one-in-one trade you can do.
I don't know about your multiple team trade. It just feels like too much can go wrong there. I just don't think you can give up Klusner and Elworthy and get Sachin back. I think if I'm the other teams, I'm like, wait, what? How have they managed to do this?
Okay. What if South Africa made? What am I thinking? Is Gibbs rated that highly by South Africa then?
96 is probably a bit before Gibbs, isn't it?
Is a bit before Gibbs. That's fair. What even is their team at that point?
Who?
I don't think they would give up Alan Donald. Would they? They definitely.
Well, they dropped him in 96 in the
that's my logic, right? Yeah. I'm like, if you're dropping him from the team, surely you would think of trading him.
I like where you're going here. I don't think we've nailed this one. I don't think everyone's
I think that's fair. Yeah, and I didn't think it was like solid either. I was like, it's very fringe for me.
Can I give you one?
Finish us off with your trade. Go for it.
2004.
Okay.
Shane Warne for Freddie Flintoff.
In limited overs cricket.
Shane Warne's retired, but can be
Correct.
coached back into play by England because it's the extra money and the attention and everything else. He also has nothing to prove in the Australian team. They've just won without him.
Mm-hmm.
That means in 2007, they're going to have what? They're going to have Warne, Goff, Harmison, Anderson. It's a pretty good bowling lineup suddenly, right? Australia.
Good bowling lineup.
Australia get
and Warne would and I would actually, if I'm Warne, I'm asking for captaincy.
Yeah,
give him the captaincy.
Agreed, 100% agreed. Yeah, that was actually part of my thing. You're right. I forgot about that.
Yes, I'm in. Yes,
Australia.
It's chaotic, but I'm in.
Yeah. Now Australia, on the other hand, have Simons at 5, Flintoff at 6,
Watson 7, right?
Watson 7. Incredible flexibility with any kind of direction that they want to go.
The only issue I have with that is Freddie is a new ball bowler, and they already have new ball bowling.
Yes. No. So what's Freddie's record in one-day cricket?
It's bowling average of 24-ish, and I think most of it's opening the bowling. I remember checking this at one point.
Okay, but by 2004, Fleming's gone,
Mm-hmm.
Gillespie's gone.
Yeah.
So you've got
Brett Lee and
McGrath.
McGrath.
So if you just move...
Bracken? Is Bracken around back then?
Bracken sort of comes on... Bracken's there by 2007. Yeah. Right?
Correct.
So you've got Bracken coming in later. He can obviously bowl with the older ball. So you're saying in one-day cricket, with the bat, he's going to average 32 with a strike rate of 88, right? So just really good numbers for the kind of player that he is. And then with the bowling, let's have a look at his record here. No, he doesn't bowl much in ODI cricket. He doesn't open the bowling in ODI cricket. He bowls first change. Perfect.
Oh, fair.
114 wickets at 25 at 4.25.
Beautiful.
So you bowl him at first change with Watto, if you want, right? You can bowl both of them at that point. You don't even have to. Watto can bowl later if you even need him to bowl at that point. Watto and Simons and Clark, if you can still fit Clark into this side at this point. But Clark into this side. And Australia doesn't need guys like, Brad Hodge and everyone else sort of coming into the lower order at that point. They just have that incredible middle ground. And then eventually, when Gilchrist leaves, you can try Haddon opening the batting, or you can put this, you can change around some of the order anyway, because Watto will eventually be able to open the batting if you want him to as well. I know he doesn't in 07, but he eventually does, right? So then you have a few years of Watto batting there as well.
I love it. I think mainly because I think Warne would love captaining England to defeat the team that gave him up.
And how many years does Warne play then in white ball cricket, right? So when does he finish playing in T20
2012,
cricket?
right? I want to say 2011, 2012-ish.
He keeps playing. I think 100% you're right. I think he keeps playing. He's like, he's going to retire from Test cricket in 06, 07, but he keeps playing franchise cricket for ages afterwards.
Here's the other thing, Jarrod.
He
If
becomes
Warne
the
is
McCullum
captain,
before McCullum.
no. The other thing, because if Warne is the captain, he's the only one who could probably handle KP in English cricket at that point, right? Right.
There's heaps of
means
things,
Warne
actually,
could-
right?
Which Warne could like convince the ECB to make sure the English players play in the IPL regularly. That changes everything for them, right? They probably still win in 2010, right?
Handles KP better.
And in Asian
brings
World
in-
Cup too, right?
Yep.
How good would Warne and Swan be in Asia together?
He's going to bring in Moeen Ali, Josh Butler, all those guys that took forever to come into that side consistently are going to come in early. He will find a role for Ben Stokes in one-day cricket that we never fucking saw Ben Stokes achieve in one-day cricket.
I think Warne deserves a lot of credit for being the only one that used Yusuf Pathan correctly. So I'll forever be like,
that's what I mean. He's really good. Also, I think he will probably, like, even though he might not actually, he'll keep Adil Rashid out of the side, right?
Yeah.
He might use Adil Rashid as a batter and bring him in at number 6 or number 7, allowing
like Rahan Ahmed.
Yeah, and allow for a different way of using him. Hopefully helps Monty, who should have been a better one-day bowler than he was, right? Although I think his numbers are fine, but they just never felt that comfortable with him. He's going to back Swan to be a pinch hitter, right? He, as you said, perfect for KP. He was the guy always trying to get Tremlett. Like does Tremlett even play one-day cricket for England? Which is ridiculous. Like, he should have been a great one-day bowler, Chris Tremlett. So you've got all these different guys coming through, right? That
he does play 15 ODIs for England.
How'd he go in them?
Tremlett plays 15 ODIs for England.
Yeah. What was his numbers?
Average 47.
Okay. How he could. He'd use Ryan Sidebottom as a weapon at times when he has to, right? Like, I just think that Warne is going to see that side so much earlier than England is going to pick up on that side, right?
Yeah, because there's no Test cricket here. He doesn't have to give. He doesn't, like, he originally gives up one-day cricket because of his shoulder, right?
Yeah.
I assume. So there's no issue with shoulders here, right?
I don't know if it was just because of that, but I think it was also like it was going to be, it's another 4 years at that point before he's going to play in another World Cup. And he has to play a lot of one-day cricket in the middle. I think it was a combination of kind of everything, right? There's a period of time where he captains brilliantly as well for Australia in one-day cricket. 2002, I think. Where you watch him, and I've seen him do this for Victoria, I've seen him do this for Hampshire, I've seen him, do it across, and for Rajasthan and for the Stars, where he has the ability of making very average players play much better for him, right? Just because, it's not because he's like a tactical genius, and I think that's what other people think. It's actually, he's got that thing that Dhoni has of just understanding why this guy is good at cricket. So I will use him to do the thing he is good at. And then he mixes and matches. I remember he was playing for Victoria at one stage, and he was like playing himself as a batter. Because he realized that if he played himself as a batter, I can't remember what number he was coming in, maybe 6 or 7. But if he did that, he had this incredible bowling lineup, which meant that he was always going to be able to bowl the like. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was constantly thinking of ways to get the most out of his team. And then from an Australian perspective, as I said, they've just won 2 World Cups in a row, and this is their big weakness, right? The 5th bowler, Ian Harvey. They're not completely sold on Ian Harvey at this point. He will obviously disappear into county cricket. Andrew Simons and Michael Clark are fine, but can occasionally be weaknesses. And then they're still a really good side right up until Flintoff does his knee, which is what?
2009?
I think it's... When's his last games? His last test match is 2009.
2009 Ashes, right? I know that is his final series. Yeah.
Well, he plays T20 cricket until 2015. So if you're not playing him, now a couple of those were comeback games and he shouldn't have played in them.
Again, a bit like with Warne, if Freddie's not going to be playing Test cricket,
you see where I'm going with this?
His knees might not go, yeah.
He definitely should be playing in the 2011 World Cup, which makes Australia a much stronger side in that World Cup.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
2015... By that stage, Faulkner and Watson have probably pushed him out of the side.
Yeah.
But if you get one more T20 ODI World Cup out of him, that's great. But also, you get Flintoff for all the T20 World Cups.
Correct. Someone can finally support Shane Watson in some of
Right?
his poor World Cups, right?
So now, instead of Xavier Doherty having to bowl at the death, right, you've got this incredibly, I'm only ever going to go on about that. But also, you look at the team that Australia lost with in 2008, right? Was it 2008 or 2009? 2009. 2010. I'll get it right eventually. 2010, when they had Dirk Nannes, Brett Lee, Mitchell Johnson. I'm missing someone as well. Sean Tate. Did they have Sean Tate in that one as well?
I have no. I don't know. Like, that's the Michael Hussey versus Saeed Azmul game, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, if you add Flintoff to that lineup, does that not just make it stronger?
That does make it stronger, yes.
So you can't tell me that Australia doesn't win an early T20 World Cup if they don't have Flintoff around.
They did have Sean Tate. Oh, that was the Steve Smith as the frontline bowler World Cup, Jarrod.
My point exactly, right? I mean, they've still got a weakness with their spinners, don't get me wrong. But if you have Flintoff in that side, the flexibility that you suddenly get, and I don't just mean that year, I mean really from 2007 through to 2012, if you can get him in a bunch of T20 World Cups. Australia wasn't, like, the 2012 one, they make the semi-final in that tournament, right? Is that right? I think they made the semi-final.
Yeah, that's a Shane Watson World Cup, yeah.
That's a Shane Watson one, right? You add Flintoff to that side, and it's suddenly, because they had Warne and Maxwell. They had a lot of the ingredients of very good T20 sides around that point. So I just think if you can do that, I think it's a fascinating one to go ahead with and how you do it. Anyway, I think it works, that one.
Yeah. I think that's all the trades for today, right? Every time I feel like I'm doing this, I'm always like, always a bit nervous. I'm like, I don't know if you have enough trades to do like a good footmarks. And it's like every single time we at least do like an hour and a half. Like without fail.
I think I've got 4 or 5 more here. I was still coming up with them. Like, I was jogging just before we came on, and I was like literally still coming up with them when I was jogging. And I was like, can you trade Derek Pringle for Roddy Eswick and Sylvester Clark? Because I think there's a couple of interesting teams, and we'll get to it. We'll do another episode because I know we both have a couple. But I think there's a couple of interesting teams of, can you get these teams to win World Cups with a couple of trades, right? And so England in 87, New Zealand in 92. There's a couple of teams that I think, actually, there's not that much that they needed, but whether you can get them to that level, which is kind of what we're trying to do with South Africa and Sri Lanka and Pakistan, right?
Yeah, like what would India trade a couple dev for, right? In the 80s, or New Zealand trade Hadley for, like that sort of stuff, right? We haven't even got like to be fair, we stuck to the name white ball trades because we basically only covered all the white ball people. We didn't do many red ball trades, right?
I don't think so.
Like the dumbest trade I had trading, what was it, David Boone, Dean Jones, and like Cade Harvey for Heat Streak in the 90s. I don't know why I came up with that, but I was just thinking randomly.
Why do you keep throwing Cade Harvey into all these trades? You don't even know who Cade Harvey is.
I don't know. I just randomly came across. I was like, you just keep coming back into my mind. He's an all-rounder. That's all I know. What was it? Cade Harvey, Joe Angel. Like, all these people just will keep me up at night now.
I think there's a couple of players that I thought... Anyway, we could go to a New Zealand one. I'm trying to have a look. When did Cade Harvey... I suppose he was 94. Yeah, so... What did he do? He had a batting average of 21 and a bowling average of 26. Yeah, I mean, he kind of was Ian Harvey, just not as good at any of the things as Ian Harvey. And David Boone, I think though, if you do it in the mid-90s, David Boone's almost done, isn't he?
No, he plays, I think, till the late 90s. I think him and
some of that might be
like
Durham,
they're slow
though.
For Australia. I think they're slow for Australia.
Dean Jones certainly plays into
like
the 2000s and could have kept playing. There's no doubt about that. And he was incredibly fit as well. So you get a lot out of him.
I'd imagine he'd be better than some of the batting Zimbabwe had in that period.
Oh yeah, no, Dean Jones
even
probably
they slew him.
He wasn't as attacking in the 90s as he had been, obviously, but he was an absolute run machine in the late 90s. Probably when he wasn't playing for Australia, he was probably technically at his best because early on he was a bit of a technical mess. A lot of it was arrogance and he was a bit like KP, but not as repeatable at times. Dean Jones. And then as he gets older, he works out how to sort of wrinkle all that stuff out of his game, but he does lose some of the dynamism that he had earlier. But yeah, I mean, it is an interesting trade, that one.
We will definitely do a part 2, right? I think that's for sure. I want to do part 2 of this before we go back to Red Bull trades.
You haven't even got to my nearly Karthik trades yet.
Yeah, we haven't even done time travel Red Bull trades or White Bull trades yet, right? That's the big one we're leading up to. That's the end game. We will find a way to trade Shane Warne for Gary Sober's Jarrod. That is 100% something we will do.
I still can't believe you tried to trade Sachin for Kulu, for Zulu and Elworthy. That's just one of the more remarkable trades I've ever seen.
Indeed. Like it is dumb enough for it to be an IPL trade, is the way I would put it.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing of like, I think halfway through the IPL we should actually just do a trade thing, right? Like of the current, like a mid-season. We'll just make our own mid-season window up, right?
I'm down to do it. Let's do it. I'm in the mid-season.
If they're not going to do it on their own, let's just do it for them.
It's been a thing for like that option is actually there. Just no team uses it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's what frustrates me about it, because I think also like halfway through the season, that is kind of when you know what you need, right?
Indeed.
Up until that point, everything is kind of guessing.
One of the reasons we do these trades is to show how interesting trades can be if you actually stop selling players for peanuts for some reason.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, why? Like, why do you keep making Mumbai Indians a better side?
Exactly. I think you're right. 100%. That's what we're trying to do, is show that like you can actually, if you, the other thing is, I was talking to someone about this earlier today, of like, he was saying, it feels like every World Cup we sit here and we say, this team's not very good at this and this team's not very good at this. He goes, and in the old days that didn't happen. And I said, that's because in the old days, no one was thinking about cricket. They weren't, like, if you go back and you read old journalism and stuff, it's like, you know, I hate to say it, but a lot of it was just absolute shit, right? Like, people could have been having, I'm not saying that trades existed, so you would have done that, but there is a much better way of talking about cricket that wasn't done. And I think that the reason I'm here now is because this is how me and my friends talked about cricket. Like, we would be sitting there going, this doesn't make any sense that Lance Klusener is batting in this position when you've got fucking Botar Dippenar fucking chewing up balls ahead of him, right? Now, we didn't have advanced stats or anything in those days, but we're looking at this going, this guy is objectively great at ODI batting. This guy is fucking not, right? All due respect to the great Botar Dippenar, but why is he batting ahead of Klusener? It doesn't even make any sense. Klusener can bat against the new ball. Just make him bat. And so, you know, and I remember me and my friends would have these endless arguments about whether Australia would be better with Ian Harvey in the side or Andrew Symonds. But we always kind of fell on the thing of, why would you not just play both? What is the point of not having both of these guys in the side? And you have Symonds batting at 6 and Harvey batting at 7, and then just go, good luck, everyone. Like, why are you picking between these two players? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all for today, guys, finally. But thank you so much for listening up to this point. And I look forward to reading comments talking about how dumb I am for trading Sachin.
Brian Lara used pot plants to work on his placement. John Wright glued his glove to his bat. Sachin Tendulkar dug up practice pitches. Tatenda Taibu cut the top off his bat. Claire Taylor used a hockey grip. Steve Smith was from tennis. Dean Jones would call phantom runs, and Victor Trumper turned the nets into a war zone to survive. The best batters in the world do whatever they have to make runs. We have told their stories in our new book, The Art of Batting.